Hi everyone. It's been a while since I made a video just showing new Blu-rays, new DVDs, movies that I've acquired. And I've gotten a bunch of them recently. I thought I'd make another video on it. There may have been some titles that I'd forgotten about that I filed away already. I don't know. And some of these in this batch, maybe I already showed. Not sure. Let's start though with a box set, two box sets actually. Now, these are movies that I actually owned when they first came out. And they first were issued in the earlier 2000s, I believe. We're talking about Mr. Moto, the films with Peter Lorre starring. He starred as a kind of like an early James Bond in a way, I think, sometimes when I was watching these. And for whatever reason, I wound up getting rid of them. I wound up selling them when I was trying to liquidate. And then I decided recently that I wanted to get them back. And the reason that was is because I started watching the early Charlie Chan mysteries, the ones that really featured Warner Oland as the famous Asian sleuth. Started doing a lot of those films, watching them. And eventually I'm going to be making videos about my feelings on those early Charlie Chan films. But then I started thinking I need the Mr. Moto films back, I don't know why I got rid of them. Luckily, this one, the Mr. Moto Collection Volume 1, was not too expensive. And it's got films in there. You can see the titles there. Luckily for me. So it wasn't really bad. This one, unfortunately, is pretty expensive. But I found a good deal on a sealed copy. I won't say how much, but, it was 2 digits, and not too bad. Luckily, I was able to get it back. Volume 2, the Mr. Moto Collection. And you can read the titles there of the films. So I'm going to be getting back into these. And as I say, I'm already watching the Charlie Chan mysteries again. And I have a lot of those to go that I've never seen. Starting with Warner Oland, then going to Sidney Toler, and on. Roland Winters, and so forth. Okay, now, picked up another volume of the Universal Horror Collection. Very good to have. It has The Black Castle. It has Cult of the Cobra. It has The Thing That Couldn't Die, which is the main reason I really wanted this most. And a film called Shadow of the Cat. The only one that I've done a video on so far is The Shadow of the Cat. You can see it right here on my channel just a few videos back. Talked about that one. That was a first-time view. Okay, now let's talk about Curse of the Undead, which is a 1950s Universal International film about a vampire who also happens to be a cowboy, if you will. So it's a Western vampire film. I might have shown this one already, I don't know. I picked up The Amazing Mr. X, about a mystic, starring Turhan Bey. All right. I picked up a 1950s cheesy film, The Monolith Monsters, and this particular movie is one that I've never seen, I don't think, in its entirety, even though I'm a monster kid from the early days. I still never got to see that. There are always films like that slip through the cracks. Okay, now on to something a little more gruesome. We go to 1974's Black Christmas, which I actually did watch over Christmas, but I haven't made a video on it yet. It's, pretty, unsettling early slasher type film. All right. The rest of these here that I'm going to show you, the three of them, are films from Val Lewton. Val Lewton really deserves, as a producer, his own video, his films. And eventually I'll get to those as well. And I think I've talked about some already. But anyway, here's one. The Leopard Man. Val Lewton did a series of films in the 1940s that were horror. He was kind of inspired by Universal, and he did films like Cat People and I Walked with a Zombie and things like that. He was inspired, but he wanted to make films that were more, mysterious, more like thrillers. He didn't overtly show you a lot of horror elements, a lot of shadows, a lot like very noirish. So I enjoy a lot of those films. It's a great series, the Val Lewton films. And carrying on here, we have 2-on-1, the Ghost Ship, and one of my favorites below with Boris Karloff, Bedlam. This is a double feature disc. So glad that these have gotten attention and restoration, you know. And finally, another Val Lewton film, one that I've never seen, believe it or not, because it's more like a child's fairy tale more than a kind of horror or scary movie, but it's supposed to be very, very good. And that's The Curse of the Cat People. I'm sure a lot of people watching my channel know this already. It's a sequel to Cat People, but not really 100% like the first film, from what I understand. All right? And that's the stuff that I've picked up lately. As I say, there may have been more. Okay, now, you may have noticed, if you're still hanging on this long, I have been changing my channel name. I went from MAYO's Movies to MAYO's Marquee. Then I kind of like put them together, MAYO's Movie Marquee, you know, because I'm Joe Mayo, so why not, right? And back and forth. And finally, for the time being, I'm settling again on MAYO's Movies. Simple. So let's see how we do with that, right? Subscribe if you haven't, please, already. And I'm watching a lot of interesting videos by other people in the YouTube movie community. A lot of shows where people get together and discuss film and talk film. If you've made it this far and you do such things, please don't hesitate to contact me. I would love to talk about some films, provided it's subjects that I know a lot about, more or less. Yeah, I'd love to do that. I'd love to have some of you on here sometime. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching, as always.